Hello, welcome to the instructions for Module 15. Module 15 is focusing on psychological treatment. For Module 15, you will be reading Chapter 16 of your OER. Also remember you need to carefully review the PowerPoints for Chapter 16. And then you will be completing the usual Module 15 discussion post as well as the Module 15 quiz. Additionally, for this module, you will be submitting your Unit 4 thought paper. I'm going to post another video at the bottom of this introduction page that's going to give you specific guidelines on writing, saving, and submitting thought paper number 2. Just remember, you've already done thought paper number 1, so you already have an introduction to APA writing. Make sure to go through that video to clear up any outstanding issues you might have with APA writing or format so that you can maximize the score that you get on this last thought paper. Okay, so I want you to be thinking about the link between Chapter 15 and 16 of your OER. Remember that Chapter 15 had to do with psychological disorders. Now, Chapter 16 introduces us to some of the major forms of therapy used in psychology to treat those psychological disorders. There are various forms of therapy, and after reading this chapter, you'll get a good introduction to these forms. If you are finding yourself highly interested in psychological disorders and treatments, you can take an entire course in clinical or abnormal psychology and spend an entire semester going through these topics. What I want to tell you about psychotherapy is that many of us receive support, whether that be emotional support or financial support, from people that we interact with on a daily basis. We might, for example, reach out to family members, friends, coworkers, and these people help us deal with the problems that we have in our lives. We might even have access to religious leaders who give spiritual and emotional advisement. These people are highly important in helping us, but if we're looking at psychotherapy, we have to be looking at somebody who is a licensed psychological provider in order for us to consider that psychotherapy. In addition to working with a licensed provider, psychotherapy also is ongoing and aims at improving people's lives. Oftentimes people reach out and receive psychotherapy to deal with psychological disorders or other major life crises that they may be experiencing. The important point here is that all psychotherapy is based on a theoretical foundation that forms part of the field of Western psychology. If we wanted to touch on that a bit, we could think back to the work of Freud. Freud developed an entire field of psychotherapy, and he introduced techniques like hypnosis, dream analysis, and other techniques that are used still today in treating psychological disorders. We also see techniques that have to do specifically with changing behavior. This goes back to learning theory. Behavior modification programs and biofeedback are just two examples of learning theories ability to link psychotherapy to behaviorism. And before I end this video, I'd also like to mention that with neuroscience, we have increasing abilities to change the neurochemistry of the brain by using medication. There are some other techniques that are also used from a biological perspective. These include psychosurgery as well as electric therapy. Although forms of changing neurochemistry are extreme, biological therapy has helped to improve people's lives when they're dealing with a psychological disorder. Okay, I will see you back in Module 16 for your final video of the course.